Hey class, um, this week's video is about two fears of boundaries that we've been studying, and it's been an awesome course, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this as much as me. I hope you've taken away from it as much as I have. Taken so much away from this. I've learned and grew so much in this course, and I'm so thankful to God that He blessed me to have this course. You know, I'm sure that it was by no coincidence. You know, I don't believe in coincidences. Two of the boundaries that I have fought with, as far as conflict goes, and fear, is recently a loss of love and the fear of retaliation. And both of those have to do with my teenage daughter. And my wife and I have been through it on this end, and we're trying our best to do this in a godly way. We're trying to do this the way that God would have us to raise our daughter. And so one conflict that scares me to death is the loss of love, of course. No father wants to think that their daughter doesn't love them, their baby daughter, you know. So when I tell her no sometimes, you know, and my wife and I talk about it, and my wife's like, well, I think you were a little too harsh, you know. So I've caught myself in this bad habit of saying no to something and then turning around and turning my answer to yes. Okay, well, that shows that there's no solidity in my answer. That means that if she shows the pouty face and sadness and the grief and all this because I've said no to something that, quite frankly, should still be no, that she's not going to love me, you know. And a lot of the conflict, it comes internally, but also, you know, it's a struggle with my spouse and myself. So we're working on that. We're gonna do better on that end of it, you know. And the other is retaliation, you know. And a lot of times when I tell her no to something, or my wife tells her no to something, and we end up turning around and saying yes to it, it's because we're afraid, you know, well, you know, this really isn't bad and it'll be okay, but at the same time, you know, it's really not the best idea. But we, you know, what if we tell her no, she can't go with her friend, and then she sneaks out and does it anyway? You know, then we would have to deal with those consequences of that, you know. And that's not really something any parent of a 13-year-old kid wants to deal with. But at the same time, you know, our no has to be no. Our boundaries have to be set, and we have to completely exile this fear of retaliation and loss of love. Because in the end, just like Dr. Cloud said, you know, the line of love is a solid line, you know, and the yes and no is the dotted line. You know, yes, I will do this. No, I won't do that. But when the no is the blank, if you look up, just like he said, the line of love is still solid. It's still there. And I think that, well, actually, I know that we have to instill this in our daughter for her to have a successful life. And if we don't teach her this, if we don't do this, then she's not going to learn this, and then therefore she's not going to have boundaries. She's going to have a boundary problem. So again, I'm super thankful for this, and I pray that God blesses each and every one of you, and I pray that everybody's doing awesome in the class. And yeah, thanks again, and thanks, Professor Starr. You're an awesome teacher, and I so appreciate you for everything you've done. And God bless all you guys. I love every one of you, and I pray for you, and have a great night.